the first like sort of sonic boom that humans ever experienced? This happened long before we built any technology. Does anyone know? No, like cavemen knew about this sonic booms. Or yes, right? Not even whip, even before that. Thunder. So like basically when lightning happens, it superheats the air around it. The air molecules move so fast because they expand. They move faster than the speed of sound. And that is thunder. It's basically a sonic boom you're hearing. And as you know, you can count how far you're away because the speed of sound travels, 8 seconds per mile? That's how we know how far we are. It's going to take about a minute because we're about 7 miles from where it is.
Yeah. And that's also on ascent. We won't feel and hear the engines rumbling until about almost a full minute into flight. And then you're going to hear it. And it's also a little bit special because, again, that hill blocks kind of the first bit of sound. So at first you might be like, that's it.
Yeah.
And then once it starts to get up, it'll be flying for a while, though. And then all of a sudden you'll hear it. And from here, you'll probably feel it a decent amount, too. I don't know if it's going to be shaking stuff, but
so
you'll know.
And Tim, over there, they're kind of going through a procedure, right? Like, how do they know it's like good to launch? We're at 3 minutes and 27 seconds. What's happening over there?
So they're about to do. So they did a pre-prop load go no go poll, but they're coming up on their own go no go poll. But
there's the smoke coming out, or the vapor.
Exactly, the condensation pouring out of the rocket. You can see it venting. We just got through what's called strong back retract. So see the tower off to the side of the rocket there. That's what it's called, the transporter erector, or the strong back. And it is what rolled out. We missed it rolling out last night.
We got the footage.
Okay, we did. Oh, that's good. We have the footage of it rolling out of the hangar, and then it gets stood up by the tower there. But now that it's vertical, the rocket is supporting its own weight on the launch pad, and the transporter erector is just starting to recline a little bit. So if there was a reason that they had to scrub, now the tower could hug it again, and they can detank it. But when it's full of propellant and it's pressurized, it will maintain standing no problem. Now, the fun thing is right at T0, that strong back looks like it's going to fall.
Yeah.
It goes 45 degrees so it doesn't get incinerated by the exhaust.
That's supposed to happen.
That is supposed to happen.
And so they're going to go through, and there's critical people. Maybe one person's in charge of propulsion. Maybe one person's in charge of making the areas clear. Everyone has a role, and they say, how do we look? And they say nominal. You want to hear nominal, right? Because that means like you're middle of the bell curve. You're where you want to be. So they're kind of already probably going through some of those over there with 2 minutes down. The fact that it's retracted is a good sign, right? This is looking like it's going to happen.
Exactly. That is a good sign. And we're about to see, it's at 1 minute, we're going to have it go into terminal count. So at that point, the rocket is completely in control of everything. It's the final, it's in startup. So it's going to be going through all of its bells and whistles. It's going to start, they've already begun chilling the engines down. Here's a fun fact. You think of a rocket engine as extremely hot, but it has to take that liquid oxygen that's minus 163 degrees, spin it through a pump at like thousands of RPM, and if they don't cool the engines, the pumps, and all the bell down before they start that propellant flowing, it'll just shatter. It'll be brittle.
Let's not say that, Tim. With a minute 30 left. Tim, I want your go, no go.
I'm go.
They're waiting to say theirs, but we need our official one here. Tim, are you nominal?
I'm nominal. I'm go for
You're
launch.
nominal.
How about you, Mark?
I'm nominal. My heart is like, you can see it through my shirt. But I need to know if you guys are nominal. Are you guys good to launch? All right, let me tweet Elon and tell him we're good here. All right, that'll do the final clear. We are less than a minute out. When we've got 20 seconds, I'm going to need you guys to count this down, and they need to hear you at the launch pad, okay?
So there is a tiny, maybe only a half a second delay, but it should have lined up perfectly. When we see 0, there's a good chance within about a second or two we'll see it clearing the mountaintop from here.
This is like 3 years of blood, sweat, tears, hard work from me and my team. You guys have put your satellites there. There is a lot on the line here.
This is it, Mark.
Okay.
Here we go.
27 seconds. We're about ready to start counting down. We need your help. Okay, Here we go. 20, 10, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We have engine ignition. Lift off. We're going to see this thing. Let's go.
Let's go.
Seconds. There it is. There it is, baby. Yes.
There it is.
Yeah. Let's go, baby. 22 space. We're about to hear the sound here. Probably in about 20 seconds or so, we'll start hearing and feeling that rumble. Look at that. It's glowing extremely bright because of the carbon being burnt off in the kerosene. So that's why it's so bright. It's almost as bright as the sun. So you'll notice it actually will dim out, and it'll start to get dimmer as the atmosphere thins.
Oh.
That's the rumble I'm talking about.
That's the rumble!
That's what I live for, Mark.
Wow!
Right there.
That's incredible.
There. That's a 22-story tall building flying into space.
Just fighting gravity. Look at just how long that takes.
Wow. Condensation off the rocket right now. It's
oh, feel that rumble.
Yes, and the beautiful thing is approaching max Q, which is the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure. So that's when the rocket is experiencing the most stress. From here on, after that point, it gets easier because the atmosphere gets thinner.
So if we've made it past that, you know, at this point, if SATGUS has made it or not, it's kind of over.
So you'll notice the glow is actually getting dimmer, though, because it's now in the higher atmosphere. It's starting to get out of the atmosphere. As it gets higher and higher, that will dim and dim and dim down to almost nothing, and you will hardly be able to see the exhaust coming out of it. So it's going to be harder and harder to track, and for us down here, it's getting a little bit closer and closer to the sun. But, yes, everything is still absolutely phenomenal.
That is so cool.
Yep, everything's looking good. Now, the next event we're about to see is stage separation. So that's when the booster is going to separate from the upper stage. And so we're going to see the 9 Merlin engines cut off. We'll actually see that in the smoke trail. The 9 engines will cut off here in a second. It'll coast for a little bit. Then the second stage is going to, right there, that was main engine cut off.
Whoa.
Now we're going to see the second stage eject, and we're going to start seeing my favorite thing in the world. It's the boost backburst. So there's second stage ignition. That's second stage ignition. Now we're running on the single Merlin 1D vacuum engine. And the booster is turning around right now.
Wow.
It's going to light its engines again for the boost back burn. There it is. You can start to see that extra exhaust going almost the wrong way. That's the booster coming home, guys.
No way.
That's the booster coming home. Yep. So we're about to see it's actually heading right back to us right now. It's using 3 of its 9 Merlin engines, and those are propelling it so its trajectory lines back up with the landing pad here. So this thing right now is, for reference, it's 96 kilometers in altitude, which is 60 miles in altitude. So it's 60 miles up right now. It's above the Kármán line as we speak. It's technically in space. And I still see the booster. I should not look away from it, because if you lose it, it's really hard to see again. But it's still that little speck. That's that thing that's still 15 stories tall. Is right now in space and coming back to us.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I lost it.
How you feeling, Mark?
It's emotional, to be honest. Yeah, this is a lot.
There, okay, see those puffs? You see the little puffs of smoke? Right up by that big
there
cloud.
it is.
There it is. It's intercepting with that kind of bigger, long cloud right now from our point of view. And those puffs of smoke are the cold gas thrusters. They're doing a fine-tuning adjustment of its trajectory to make sure it lines up, make sure its orientation is correct, and get it pointed perfectly back to the landing pad. So it's now above. I can see the little bips of smoke every now and then. It's very hard to see right now. I still have very little visual on it. But
And
here's
then
the
when
deal.
it does the first burn, about where will it be?
It'll probably be below that cloud that we're seeing right now. I have a very hard time judging it right now, and I did unfortunately lose visual on it myself. But we are coming up on the re-entry burn. Hopefully that'll be a good opportunity to see again, because that does glow pretty bright.
And then we can see, you can see the views here on the screen.
So on the left-hand
let's step
side,
off the stage, guys, just for safety. Yeah, thanks.
on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the grid fins are deployed already, and it's starting to fall. So you can see it's actually still arcing over. The booster it is falling. The booster's falling right now. It's picking up velocity. It's coming back into the atmosphere. And we're coming up on entry burn ignition, which is in about another less than a minute or so. We'll see the engines light up, 3 of the engines again, and hopefully we'll be able to regain good visual on that again. I'm trying to keep my eyes open.
I mean,
here.
once it lights, there's no missing it, right?
It's not incredibly bright because it's still pretty high up.
Got it.
But they are pointing right at us, which is to our advantage. Have you ever had a rocket engine pointing straight at your face?
No, but I'm excited for it.
It'll still be a good 50 kilometers or so, 30 miles in altitude when it does that.
And that's SATGUS's view right now on the right. You can see those that engine's just burning hot.
Yep, so that's the Merlin 1T vacuum engine. We're coming up, still on entry burn coming up soon. Hopefully, how are we doing tracking this? Do we have a good track on that back in the studio? I'm curious. Oh, we got it, they said.
We got it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. We're tracking it with the camera.
Awesome. That's great. So we've got these tracking telescopes that allow us to see the entire thing.
This is like 2 shows for the price of one, Tim, with the return.
It really is. I mean, the booster landing is, before this, you had just that, which is still really cool.
Yeah.
But now we get it, again, basically in reverse, which is awesome. Yep, we're coming up on entry burn. You can see on the screen, the left-hand part of the screen, that is a tracking shot of it re-entering.
No.
So hopefully, keep our eyes up to the skies here. It's probably going to be somewhere around those clouds, maybe higher. I don't have a good visual. Oh, right up there.
Oh, wow.
There it is. Okay, now here's the deal. Keep your eyes on it. Once entry burn ends, you'll be shocked at how fast it's coming down. So you can still see it smoking.
Wow.
You can still see it. There we go. Look at how fast it's coming down.
Do you see it?
Yeah, do you see it? It's about to hit these clouds, the little clouds right
Oh, yeah.
there.
Wow.
There's the clouds.
That is
the clouds.
cruising. Wow.
Just falling
That's
back
a 22-story building.
This part's only 15 stories, but yeah, it's
true.
still huge. Falling back right to the landing site.
Get out of here.
Look at that. You can see a good smoke trail. This is easy to track now. Get ready. It's going to come up on lighting its engines for the landing burn here at the very last moment. You're going to think like, okay, when's it lighting? When's it lighting? Come on, baby.
Turn it on.
Turn on those engines.
Wow.
But it waits until the last second. There it is. Landing burn, baby. Now, we're not going to hear the sonic boom in the engine for almost another minute again.
Get out of here.
So it is about to land. You'll see on the screens it's about to touch down. It's deploying its landing legs. Right there, landing legs deployed. And right about when it touches down is probably when we'll hear the sonic boom. So get ready. Here it comes.
Touchdown!
Yeah, baby. Here comes the sonic booms.
It's like a minute. Wait for it. Maybe science doesn't work.
Yeah, baby! Yeah!
Yeah! The rumble!
And that's the landing burn engine rumbling now.
With the delay.
The delay.
Wow!
How awesome is that?
That is so cool.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? And now stage 2.
Stage 2 is about to turn off its engine, which will officially put SATGUS in orbit. So there's views of the stack. SATGUS is somewhere on that stack of all these other payloads. Did it officially go SECO? Yes, it did. So engine's been cut off. It's now in orbit. SATGUS made it that far so far.
Let's go!
Hopefully that helps you sleep just a little bit better tonight.
That'll help. Wow, okay, there we kind of see the orbit already, right? So again, it's that polar sun-synchronous orbit.
Yeah.
So the Earth can just spin underneath it and get your guys selfies from wherever you're at on the planet.
Yes, exactly. So, that's still the compensation from the rocket re-entering, which is crazy. You can still see smoke trails, but they're going to dissipate here any minute. So, you did it. I mean, that's the first part. But now SATGUS, ironically, is number what?
I think 81st, 82nd.
They're going to deploy 80-some satellites before they get to SATGUS because they just have that many riding this bus.
So at what point do they start actually pooping these things out? Like in about 10 minutes or something?
You know, that's a good question. I think they might have another orbital.
I think they start doing some, and there's another burn.
Yeah, there's a second engine ignition and an orbital readjustment. So.
And what's cool is that the whole stage is now moving at that 5 miles per second, basically. You know, you don't need propulsion to get the satellites on. You really, it's just a small spring force. You just push it off, and it just glides off, right? And so they do this for all 131 over the next 3 hours. They just kind of push them out. And I think SATGUS is 82nd in line. I think it's like 2 hours after this.
2 hours, 17 minutes, and 44 seconds. I had to write it down.
Okay, there you go. I got to be honest with you guys. That was kind of emotional for me.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I don't doubt, man. That was big.
That's
Years
cool.
in the making, man.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, growing up, you know, space was always just so I don't know. I'm just always so inspired by space. You know, nothing more. You know, just looking out at the stars and just the way what it does to your brain, and just thinking about who we are and the potential of us as humans. And then I got to work at NASA, and that was an amazing experience with the rover. But doing your own hardware and also making it like I don't know, like a full circle moment with you guys. There's a lot of kids' pictures on this thing. And so kind of being that catalyst and the incredible things you guys are going to do to help the world and humanity, this is a moment. This feels really good. Thank you guys so much for coming out here. So we're going to end the live stream here. If you want to watch the actual SATGUS being shot out, you can go over to spacex.com/launch. And you kind of watch them as they deploy all the satellites. If it goes black sometimes, that's because there's certain customers who want to be a little bit more secretive. So if the stream goes black, that's why.
And they also have to have ground tracking stations to get. So if it's flying over the ocean right now, there's not a place to transmit the video feed. So there are moments of blackout, but if we're lucky, later in 2 hours or so, we'll actually get a shot of.
Okay, we're going to do a selfie here to commemorate a safe launch. We got everyone in there. So everyone watching on the live stream, thanks so much. You can go over there, and we'll continue the party here.
Thanks, everybody.